Communication same, especially now with the way like males and females look at each other because of social media and everything on the internet. Like it's definitely different. And I think it's pretty sad, honestly. But it is what it is. Salam Badeli, episode 15. I'm here, baby. As you can see by the title, we're talking about males versus females today, and I ain't gonna even play with y'all today. I ain't gonna delay. This is my second time kicking this podcast. It's currently Saturday morning, 9 a.m. I just tried the podcast before this take, but I realized I need to organize my information so I can kick a good episode. So the first episode I ain't got notes, but now I got some notes. So we're gonna get into it, males versus females. I think it's important to talk about males versus females because, and I think that this episode and this topic is kind of I like to call it a common sense type episode, but what I've realized over time is that common sense is now uncommon. So what I'm gonna start calling it is uncommon common sense. So males versus females, to me, and what I've seen is an uncommon common sense episode. I mean, yeah, uncommon common sense topic. But so I'm gonna just in this episode gonna break down what I've seen and what I've learned and how I think that males are different from females and just the different type of interactions, their roles in relationships, and how males and females have changed over time, both the dynamics between them and just the modern male versus the say traditional male and the modern woman versus the traditional woman. And this is not a red pill episode, if anybody's wondering or anything like that. But y'all see, just stay tuned, hear what I gotta say. I'll throw the timestamp so y'all can skip around or whatever. But males versus females. So when we talk about this uncommon common sense topic, it's important to just start off with the basics of like the innate differences between males and females. And to start, I believe that males operating in their masculine are very detail oriented, detail oriented. Some characteristics that can go with like a traditional male, or just like the innate characteristics that are put into males is like detail orientation, um, uh, not detail oriented, but task oriented, discipline, orderly. So like order, stability, like strength. Like these are the type of characteristics that are innately put in males versus a female is going to be like emotion, like love, like community, like chastity, like selflessness. These are the two different type of innate abilities and innate characteristics or traits that are put into males and females operating in their feminine, because they have different roles and we behave differently and we communicate differently. Our biology is different, and like I just said, our roles are different. So just first talking about communication. If we talk about communication between males and females, something that I've learned recently is, and I repeat what Jordan Peterson about males is where when you're dealing with two males, is a certain when we talk about communication, there's a certain amount of respect for dealing with males. When males is having a conversation or talking to each other in a group setting. For example, Jordan Peterson gave the example of like if somebody's gonna take a dig or take a joke at somebody, it has to be in good faith. It has to be for the laugh, because and like it can't go over a certain line, because say you just take a dig at somebody for no reason, there's no joke value, has no value, then that civil and respectable conversation can quickly turn into something not so civil, it can turn into something violent. So when males are talking, a lot of it is to say, and I'm stopping because every time I stop, I'm thinking about different ways that I'm thinking about the reverse side of it, and I think about something I can add. But I just want to keep it on track for right now. But the males, when they talk, the communication is respectful, and it's telling you, for me, and I think like a normal male conversation between two males that's like about business and just about like orderliness. The conversation is just direct, and it's how you feel, and it's efficient, and it's to the point, and you get the message across. Um, and it's respectful. It's about respect because, like I say, if a civil conversation between males can turn into something not so civil if the line is crossed and the right amount of respect is broken. So, like a lot of times, and the difference between males and females in communication is females, they communicate differently, and I'm gonna have to learn more, and I'm gonna have to live more because I don't really hang around a lot of females right now to learn about the communication. But I know if you try to take the way males communicate and you do it with most females, or like a female operating in her feminine, then it's gonna be different. Like you, like a male, like for me, I've had experiences where I'm talking too direct to a female, or like even my mom, like I can't, like you gotta kind of not dance around something, but they don't always appreciate like the direct answer and the honest truth. They always want to find a different angle. They always want to look at it from other people's perspective, which is something everybody should do. But they always want to look at it from a more compassionate perspective and a more emotional perspective. So let's say that I have a, let's say that I just got an example. Let's say I'm watching like let's say somebody dies, and like a male could say, well, that's how the world works. You know, people die every day. That's why we gotta stay safe. Now that's true. That's a true statement. But if you say that to a female, and that's like an objective way to look at death. But if you say that to a female, she's gonna look at it from and the emotional aspect. So like a male can see like the real objective truth, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's not like pretty. But a female would be like, well, think about the family of the people, or think about like how the person felt when they was dying, or think about how the person that felt that killed them, like what they gonna have to go through. So when we talk about communication, it's different. And one thing about females is like, man, females, I don't know. I don't understand females sometimes, but I know enough to stay away from them. But when females talk, like I feel like it's just like, it's kind of like birds chirping. Like one bird like chirps, and then the other one is just like they all talking to each other. Like if you hear a group of females talk, it's just like one talk, and then the other one start talking over each other, and the other one start talking over each other. But like it seems like they don't care. It's just like the way they communicate. Versus if you had a group of dudes talking, like respectable dudes, not no losers. Like if you had some dudes talking, like one of them gonna talk, and then you're gonna wait, and the other one gonna talk, or you might interject, but it's just not like the female. It's like blah 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 blah. But versus a male, it's just like huh, 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 huh. A female is just like. Rrr. So that's just how different the communication. So when we start talking about relationships, I think a lot of relationships probably get in trouble because of the different communication styles. And if you don't know how to communicate with your partner or communicate with the opposite sex, and you don't understand that there's differences, then people could probably run into problems in their relationship, because communication is key. Another thing about females talking about their emotional, and I'll talk about relationships a little bit right now, talking about the emotional thing, like if you don't communicate and you do something, you could do something like little, or something like your girl might feel some type of way just because you didn't communicate to her, and because she's a more emotional creature and she doesn't think like how we think. Like we might think something's cool, and a female might not think no way about it, but in her mind it's like the biggest thing in the world, and she's thinking about all the different possibilities, and she's thinking about like the emotional aspect. And especially if you is like a loser, if you did do it wrong or dirty, then especially she gonna have a reason to raise her eyebrow or to feel some type of way, just because they don't operate and think the same as us. And I can't really help it. I'm talking about communicating because I don't be, I mean, that's not an area of my expertise, but I know that communication is necessary, and I think that it's important for men to just be honest with females and be patient with them, because Yeah, cause yeah, that's a lot. That's yeah, I don't know. You would have to ask somebody else about that, like communication between opposite sex. Cause really, I just keep it cordial. I just keep it business, and I'm still learning. I'm learning every day. But one thing I do know, and I can tell you, is that it's not the same. The communication same, especially now with the way like males and females look at each other because of social media and everything on the internet. Like it's definitely different. And I think it's pretty sad, honestly. But it is what it is. So we just talk about the communication and differences, and then I wrote down even communication in biology, like in anatomy and physiology. Like males, their anatomy, like their biology, what they're born with is different. Like more oxygen capacity, like more muscles. But females probably have resources in other places that we don't. But like males, like a male is like built like different. Like if you touch a male, especially one that's like work and it does hard labor, you gonna feel the muscles. You gonna feel the strength. You gonna feel like it's gonna be like a rock. It's gonna be like an unmovable force. But and especially the older you get, the stronger you get. But with a female, it's just like a fragile, like man, I don't know. It's just like it's like different. It's just different. Like our bodies are different, and we have different physiological needs. Uh, we have different physiologies. We have different nutritional needs. Females' hormones are different. Like our hormones is different. Our brain is different. Just like everything's different. It's not the same. So when we talk about biology, like man, it's easy to see. It's easy to see the difference between like you would look at a woman that's like muscular, and you'll know that that's like a manly trait, or like a man that's all small and that's like feminine. So it's clear to see that there's different chemical and physiological differences, anatomical differences between males and females too. So that's something to keep in mind. But I think the communication thing is more important. And then lastly, I just put roles. And in the last podcast I was talking about, I spent too much time talking about the different roles, like in the families, and I'll get into that. I'll get into that right now, like how it's a popular topic and it's a popular subject of discourse, which is like the woman in the workforce and like the boss lady and all like this feminist stuff, and yeah, I think it's important to talk about because uh, ever since the beginning of time, ever since males and females started procreating or whatever, and ever since we started living in these societies, the industrial society, even like the agricultural society, and even before that, the hunter-gatherer society, it was a man's role to basically, put the bootstraps on and to put the work vest on and to go out and grind and to ultimately get the resources for the family. And then the female job is to take care of the family and take care of everything that the man doesn't have time to do, basically. And that's how it was like back in the day, like from the start, hunter-gatherers, you got the men that go trek and go hunt like the big meat. They go get the big kills, and then the females, they get the berries. They take care of the kids. They figure out what medicines to use. They figure out what plants is safe and what plants is dangerous. They take care of the campsite. Then you got the agricultural society where people really work together, but the men, they do the heavy lifting. The men, they go out and get the business deals. They go out and get the tractors, Men and females, I feel like the agriculture age is probably an age where women was the most involved, but still at the end of the day, women was, sweeping the house and tending to the kids and cooking, while the men like did a lot of heavy lifting. They probably they killed the cows and like all that stuff. And man, that probably makes a certain type of woman that's able to work in like the farm situation and be able to tend to the motherly aspects. Man, that was probably a nice situation. But now we got the agriculture age. The industrial age, where which is an age that's really interesting to me, where like men worked in factories and like steel mills and car shops and stuff like this, and then like it was like the advent of like the American dream or whatever, like the house with the white picket fence with the car and the two kids and the dog, that type of age. And so if we're looking from all of these ages, we see that every age it was really about the woman taking care of house and the motherly duties, and the man just going out there and being a quote unquote breadwinner. And before I get into the breadwinner thing, I think these people can, I think men and females stick to these roles and carry these roles over time, not because of oppression or not because of something, some mystical force. It's because, well, yeah, some mystical force, but not because of whatever people say, not because of oppression, not because of female slavery, but because of the roles. Is because men have the innate abilities and the innate skill sets and talents to be the breadwinners and to be the hard workers, while females are built like they literally carry the babies, and they literally like nurse the kids. So how could they not be the ones that is built for taking care of the house and things like this? So going back to the breadwinner idea, it's a lot of people talking about nowadays, like the female being a breadwinner and all this breadwinner talk. But the real breadwinner back in the day, right now, what comes with being a breadwinner is different than what came with being a breadwinner back in the day. Like in the industrial age, the breadwinner meant waking up at 5 a.m., working in the steel mill, working on all type of dangerous tools and heavy equipment and laboring all day, Monday through Friday, and then coming back to sleep, going back home, sleeping, waking up and doing it again and again and again and again, all the way till you retire. And the further back you go in history, the harder the breadwinner is. Like, you gotta go kill go kill a boar, go kill a bison or whatever. Like, you could die, but a lot of people could die. But just thinking about the breadwinner concept, like even back to the like industrial age, like there wasn't a whole lot of options. Like as a man, you have to realize like nobody's gonna come save you, nobody's gonna feed your family but you. So if you work in a job where you don't want to work and you don't like it, or you don't feel like it's not the job for you, it's not fun, you don't feel fulfilled, like that's not really a thing. Like you gotta put your emotions to the side and work. Like you gotta put your head down and grind. So, and now people talk about being a breadwinner just because they're the ones that make the money, but nowadays the way people make money and the way families are structured and the way jobs are structured, like being a breadwinner doesn't come with what it came with back in the day. Like you can make money online, you can make money from the comfort of your own home. Some people can just sit back and not have to make money, usually doing computer clicks to make money. So I think it kind of messes up and this is not to take away from anybody that's a breadwinner or a female that's making the money. Everybody gotta eat. So if you gotta boss up and eat, then you gotta do what you gotta do. But being a breadwinner now does not come with what it came with back in the day. As much as people think like their online business, like it might be stressful, you might have anxiety or whatever, but it's not the same. It's not the same. It's different. It's different nowadays. And so that I was talking about roles. And so yeah, so nowadays, nowadays we'll talk about like I'm already kind of talking about the males versus females, the modern ones and the new ones, but like I say, now we turn into a society where the digital like revolution and the digital shift has and other things have kind of messed up the roles and the family structure, from how it was all this time we've been on this earth to now. Well, probably not just now, but now we see that it's switching, it's changing, especially in this country, because a lot of I think one is because relationships. You can't have a healthy family if you don't have a healthy self, and then a healthy relationship, and then a healthy family. So we got all these broken people going with broken people, making broken families and more broken people, and it's just a cycle. And I think one thing that's gonna continue to wreck this is social media, but one thing that got it started is like normal media, like movies, like changes in the workplace, and just a whole lot of movements and stuff that I'm not gonna get into. But now we see that back in the day, and this kind of gonna turn into like a relationships episode, but back in the day, men, you didn't have really, men or women didn't have that many options. So and everybody wasn't so sex crazed. I think that's another thing that had to that destroyed the family. Also, like adult media content. I ain't gonna say the word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That also destroyed people because when you have a man that's just focused on pleasing his lower extremities, then it changes the dynamic between males and females, and it changes the union between two people, and it just jacks up the whole thing. It jacks up the whole family thing. So now we have a generation of men that are not the same type of workers and the same type of breadwinners. Not because, because it's some weak stuff, but not only because of that, but because of situational circumstances and how society is and how the workplace is set up, which is no excuse for anybody to not be doing something, but it's definitely different. Definitely not how it used to be. And so now, and then we have women that is not doing what they used to do and not using all of their skills, and they're learning how much power they have through their sexuality, and also their like if you're a woman and the society is used to you getting married to somebody who's going to provide the money, if you live in a society that's structured, that's like fractured because everybody has sex on the brain, and because everybody's so distracted with like the stuff on their phone, everybody's so sucked in, then you're gonna have to find a way to eat too. You're gonna have to find a way to make money too. And nowadays we got females got options like OnlyFans and stuff like that. And if you're a broke girl with no morals or whatever, then it is what it is. You're gonna find a way to make money, but that's not hurting. That's hurting the person consuming that OnlyFans content. That's hurting you, the person that's making it, and it's hurting society as a whole, because that's another family that's gonna be jacked up if you don't get yourself together. That's another. It's like a bad stitch all around. Like you could take it from multiple angles, but it's just a bad stitch all around. And so I just have written down males and females in relationships, and the old man versus the new man, and the old woman versus the new woman. So I don't really gotta explain. Well, maybe I do, but it's clear to see that everything's different, and the relationship roles are different, and the way people act is different. But I don't wanna. I like to end these episodes on high notes, and like to end these episodes on notes for where we can improve. Because I don't just want to be the doom and gloom guy with the idea, but I think we could be successful. And of course, it's not gonna be. This of course probably won't happen. That's not what people want to hear. But if anybody out there wants to hear, male or female, I think we'd be successful if males are not focused solely on sex and solely on getting with women just because they want to do the nasty, because they want to get hot and heavy. And of course, it's hard because now we live in a society because now everybody is so sexualized. Because the males are so sexualized, the females are so sexualized. And of course, there's outliers and there's people that's not on this type of time, but for the most part, and from what social media would tell you, men just want to do one thing, and so females, they got their guard up, or they got their guard completely down, and they got a lot of other things down. As a male, if we want to make progress and we want to kind of live a normal life, not in this crazy world, you have to not be focused only on sex. You have to focus on getting your own resources and getting your own situation. You gotta focus on being your best self. You gotta cut the fat out your life. You gotta make sure every part of your life is in order, and that you take care of everything. You gotta do the stuff that's hard. You gotta do the uncomfortable stuff as a male. I had this thought the other day, like it's like you got vices you gotta get rid of. Like it's hard to sacrifice, but it's also hard being a loser. So you gotta choose your hard. It's hard to be broke, but it's hard to be broke. It's hard to grind and to do what you gotta do, but it's hard to be broke. So you gotta choose your heart as a man. And you gotta get on your not purpose, but just get on what you gotta get on. Like everybody knows what they gotta do to hit the next level, but a lot of times it's uncomfortable, and a lot of times you could stay on this next level just fine. But if you want more to life, if you want to hit the next level, then you gotta do it hard. And for women, I can't really speak for the women, but don't be trying to be out here acting crazy. Like you know what you need to do too. and one day you'll find the right person. But until then, you ain't gotta be acting all crazy. And I'm not here to. I don't know for women, but I know that the dynamics is messed up. I know that our generation right now is kind of like a lifeless generation. Like we all just in the phones and this social media land, and it's worse than I thought. And I'm learning every day just being in school and just being around these people. But I think there's hope. I think even though a lot of people are in like a stupor and a lot of people are like in a slumber, I think there's still life in people, like deep down, and it just takes somebody to bring it out of them. But we're in a difficult situation, and dynamics is definitely different between males and females from what it used to be. But what a perfect time to lock in and become the best version of yourself and to have resources, because if you put yourself in a position as a man or as a female, like the bar is set low, like the standards is low right now, like performance. I'm gonna talk about that too. I had a video idea, I should have wrote it down, but it's just about how the bar for excellence and the bar for hard work and a lot of disciplines, or just what I see in my life, what I see in my own eyes. I see that the bar is set low right now. So if you want to do anything, like, and you got the work ethic and you got the passion for it, then the bar is low right now, and it's ripe for the taking. So some of these circumstances, some of these situations is grim, but if you can get your mind right and put yourself in position, then I think there's a lot of opportunities ripe for the taking. And I think that's the perfect way to stop. Males versus females, we're different, but we need each other. It can't be males versus females. This is me comparing females and males, but we can't be against each other because we need each other. Yeah, and it is what it is. I didn't talk about everything. I could have talked about how just like the female energy, but I'm gonna get into that on my 9 months semen retention. Yeah, if anybody's still watching, I'm still up. 9-month video coming soon. A few more episodes, maybe like in the 20s. I'm in March, but episode 15, man. 15 weeks of this, man. I started this 15 weeks ago, and I ain't missed an episode yet. We just coming strong. We're just gonna stay consistent. Whoever's watching, I appreciate y'all for watching. Hope I'm giving value. I hope I'm spitting my game. If you enjoy it, if you got anything to say, I love to engage y'all in the comments, or thank y'all for the likes, the views, all that. Silent but Deadly, episode 15. Males versus females. We gonna keep working.
Realize I'm all that work like every day, but it's gonna take some time. Move like the man like every day, but I'm far from my prime. Glad I'm close to these bands. If you ain't helping me be great, we don't need to be friends. You wanna go do this and that, but I don't got the time. It ain't gonna take me long to figure if you wrong.